Wow. Junho and Yoona go public. Caught holding hands at the Blue Dragon Film Awards 2025. The moment that sent shockwaves across the entire entertainment world lasted no more than 3 seconds on camera. 3 seconds of eye contact. 3 seconds of a subtle hand reach. 3 seconds of fingers slowly, unmistakably interlocking. And just like that, the rumors that had simmered beneath the surface for years burst into a wildfire that no agency statement could contain. The Blue Dragon Film Awards 2025, already the most glamorous night of the year, suddenly became the stage for the most unexpected revelation in modern K-entertainment history. Junho and Yoona, the nation's beloved icons, walking and holding hands as if the world had always known. But the truth is the world did not know. The world only suspected, dreamed, theorized, whispered. And that is why this moment broke everything. Hold on tight, C-drama family. The world of your favorite celebrities is unfolding before your eyes, and every moment is more breathtaking than the last. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now, because trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming next. The question everyone is asking now is simple. Was this planned or was it a spontaneous confession of something too real to hide any longer? Because when the footage is slowed down, when every frame is examined, something becomes clear that words can no longer deny. The hand-holding wasn't accidental. It was intentional. Quiet. Confident. Almost defiant. As if they reached a point where secrecy felt heavier than the truth. The moment unfolded at the end of the red carpet. Cameras were lining the walkway, lights blinding, fans screaming on both sides of the velvet barricades. Junho, known for his composed demeanor, arrived a few steps ahead of Yoona, dressed in a sleek black tuxedo that gave him an air of quiet power. Yoona followed, radiant in an ivory gown that seemed designed to glow under every camera flash. They were expected to pose separately. The media had already prepared individual frames. But as Yoona stepped beside him, something extraordinary happened. Junho turned first. It was a small turn, a gentle tilt of the head, the kind that suggested instinct rather than conscious decision. She looked at him, her eyes softening in a way that the fans who had followed her for years instantly recognized. And then, without hesitation, their hands found each other. The crowd froze. Photographers forgot to breathe. Even the announcer on the red carpet stalled mid-sentence before catching the moment and trying, unsuccessfully, to keep her voice steady. What makes this moment so explosive is not just the act, but the context. For years, their chemistry on screen had been electric. Their performances in dramas, their interactions at award shows, their subtle glances at press conferences, all of it had fueled rumors. But both agencies maintained a clean, almost icy silence whenever the topic arose. Fans argued. Reporters speculated. Entire online communities built timelines, analyzing everything from matching accessories to overlapping schedules. Yet nothing, absolutely nothing, compared to what happened that night. The Blue Dragon Hall itself seemed to react. As Junho and Yoona walked inside, still holding hands, a wave of murmurs rippled through the crowd. The biggest stars in the country were whispering behind their programs. Directors, producers, senior actors, they all watched the pair walk gracefully down the aisle, as if witnessing the unveiling of a secret chapter everyone thought would remain permanently sealed. The cameras that were supposed to be focused on nominees and categories kept drifting toward them, capturing every stolen glance, every small smile, every instinctive gesture of closeness. What made it even more breathtaking was the way they behaved inside the ceremony. They did not shy away. They did not break apart awkwardly. They did not sit stiff and distant like two people trying to erase a moment of accidental intimacy. Instead, they remained quietly, unmistakably connected. Their chairs were angled slightly toward each other. Their conversations, though muted by distance and camera angles, looked warm, familiar, years deep. At one point, during a particularly emotional tribute segment, Yoona leaned closer and Junho gently placed a hand on her arm, comforting her with a touch so natural it felt like a truth finally revealed. The audience at home, watching through national broadcast, reacted instantly. Social media exploded. hashtags climbed into global trends within minutes, breaking records for the Blue Dragon Awards. Clips of the hand-holding looped endlessly, each upload accumulating millions of views in hours. Comment sections turned into emotional battlegrounds of shock, excitement, disbelief, and overwhelming joy. Fans who had been shipping them for years felt vindicated. Others struggled to accept the suddenness of it all. But the one reaction shared by every viewer was simple: this moment felt real. And that is what changed everything. Because this wasn't a staged publicity stunt. It wasn't a marketing ploy for an upcoming project. It wasn't an accidental brush of fingers on a crowded stage. This was deliberate. This was bold. This was a silent announcement. An announcement made not with words, but with an act more powerful than any press release. As the ceremony unfolded, the camera caught them several more times. Junho, trying to stay composed, stealing small glances at Yoona when he thought the spotlight wasn't on him. Yoona, luminous and calm, returning his gaze with a soft smile that seemed to say everything she had held back for years. When Junho won an award later that night, the first person he looked toward was her. And the look Yoona gave him in return was the kind of quiet, proud warmth that spoke volumes. Behind the scenes, the atmosphere was even more electric. Industry insiders whispered that staff members backstage were stunned. No one had been alerted beforehand. No agency representative had prepared answers. In fact, several insiders claimed that the moment Junho reached for Yoona's hand was the first time even their own managers realized something had changed. Or perhaps something that had always existed had finally crossed the line between private affection and public truth. After the ceremony, reporters swarmed every exit, desperately trying to catch a statement. But the couple left the venue the same way they entered, side by side, calm, confident, and holding hands. They didn't hide behind tinted cars or shield themselves from the flashes. Instead, they walked slowly, gracefully, almost as if they wanted the world to witness this new reality fully and clearly. And now, the question hanging in the air is one the entire industry is waiting to see answered: was this their official announcement? Or was this simply the first step toward one? Because if the hand-holding revealed one thing, it was trust. Trust in each other. Trust in their fans. Trust in their place in the industry. And trust in the idea that some stories are too powerful to keep hidden forever. Right now, commentators across Korea are calling it the most iconic moment in Blue Dragon history. Idol fandoms, drama fandoms, movie fandoms, they have all united in a rare moment of shock and fascination. Even global media outlets outside Asia have begun reporting on it, labeling the scene as one of the boldest celebrity soft launches in years. And as the world waits for a statement, for a confirmation, for the next chapter of this unfolding romance, one thing is clear. Junho and Yoona have changed the landscape of celebrity relationships in a single evening. They stepped away from shadows, away from speculation, and walked straight into the light, hand in hand, creating a moment that fans will revisit, analyze, and treasure for years to come. This was not a rumor. This was not an accident. This was history. And the story is only just beginning. The moment Junho and Yoona stepped out of the Blue Dragon Film Awards, still holding hands beneath the piercing white flashes of paparazzi lenses, the world outside the venue erupted into a kind of chaos that no award show in recent memory had ever triggered. And the irony is that neither of them said a single word. Not one sentence. Not even a quick greeting to the reporters clamoring for answers. Their silence spoke with more force than any official announcement. And that silence is precisely what ignited the midnight meltdown that followed. As their car pulled away from the awards venue, hundreds of reporters immediately split into three groups. The first chased after their vehicle, the second ran toward the agency's headquarters, and the third stayed glued to their phones, refreshing social media feeds every second. Because in the online world, the reaction was not just explosive. It was volcanic. Within minutes, hashtags connected to them crossed the 100 million mark. Fan pages crashed under the weight of constant traffic. International media outlets began issuing breaking news alerts. And YouTube channels that specialized in celebrity analysis were live streaming, speculating, debating, and blowing up the moment with frame-by-frame dissection. But the real chaos began at midnight. At the exact minute most countries crossed into a new day, two entirely different storms erupted, one inside Juno's agency, and the other inside Yoona's. The first leak came from a staff member who spoke anonymously to reporters. According to him, Juno's agency was completely unprepared. When the footage aired live, half the managers were still backstage, and the other half were in the media room preparing the official PR speeches for the night. None of them had been informed. None of them had been warned. And the first thing they saw was Juno slowly reaching his hand toward Yoona like a man who had already rehearsed this moment in his heart 1,000 times. Phones started ringing. Directors were yelling. Coordinators stood frozen in shock. And the person responsible for handling dating rumors reportedly dropped a stack of prepared denial statements onto the floor, realizing instantly that they were now useless. Because this wasn't a rumor. It was proof. Visual. Undeniable. Intentional.